What's up, everybody? I got my props in today. These things came in quick. Oh man. Alright, so there's the props. Got these for fairly cheap. A few props that came in. So if you think these are a good prop, then let me know. They're Eris. It looks like. Let me get one out. 4-inch. Let's see how. 40-45s. They seem pretty bendable. I think the green are going to be really good. Let's do this. So that's basically where they're going to go. And you can see that I'm putting this right on the center. It's going to get right next to that side there, so 4-inch props are on these 180s are literally as big as you can put on it. Green and black. Those are my two favorite colors together. So. Anyways, I'll give you guys the price on those props. It's the cheapest ones that I could find on eBay as a group. And I wanted a bunch of props because props break. I wanted more than just 4 props. Anyways, that's the props we got in today. So if you guys would like the link to that to go and get you some fairly cheap 40-45 bullnose props that are green, there it is. So the ESCs came in today. I'll go ahead and open these up. I was gonna wait till I got home, but go ahead and check them out now, and then I'll do a further look at them in depth when I get to the house. Alright, so nothing left in the bag.
Is that the quadcopters?
Yeah. Alright, so we got the Simon K firmware ESCs right here. Like I said, you've got the positive and negative wire, and then you've got a double wire right here that's white and black, which is the positive and negative of the ESCs. So this goes up to, well, it says 16 amp, but it said that it goes up to 20 amp, I think. So we'll just have to see. Because if these aren't enough amp, then I'll have to look into something else. Because if they're only 16 amp, they might be for a smaller quadcopter. But they were super cheap, and I'll leave a link in the description on these. So they didn't really cost me much. Not sure. Anyways, that's them. We'll get more in depth with it whenever I get back to my desk. So like I said, as stuff comes in, I'll kind of put it on. This build has no particular order or anything to it. But sorry, I'm dropping stuff. But I went ahead and I want to show you guys this because as you guys seen in the last video, I put the wire on kind of wrong. I went ahead and the heat shrink came in, which was a really good price, and it came in real fast, so wasn't that expensive at all. It came with this whole big thing. Heat shrink here, so there's a bunch of them. So this is going to work just fine. The one thing that I did want to say about this build is your first build is going to cost you just a little bit more than all the rest of your builds, because you're going to have to get all the stuff necessary for it. You know, buying a heat shrink. I got the nylon spacers ordered today, which is a bunch of them. They don't cost a lot of money, and there's a ton to them. So I mean, you could do with this heat shrink with you know, an iron and things like that if you don't already have one. It can be pretty pricey buying the extra stuff, but you never have to buy that stuff again, really, until your iron wears out. Well, let me show you this. I actually bent this so you guys can see. I bent it even more. I had pulled it out for my other quadcopter fixes and stuff to be a little bit longer so I can reach some of those hard to reach places in some of those plastic canopies that they have. And I've used this for years. I mean, for a long time. And I don't know what it was. I really don't, because there were certain parts on it that would work. For example, it had this little spot here, and that's why I bent it right at that spot so I could show you guys if it'll focus in. That spot melted solder like a champ. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do, but the rest of this, and you really need to do this with the tip. You really need to be working on this with the tip. And there was a few times that I got the tip to work, but the rest of the time it was just that. So I was having to put my whole solder over it, you know, for this one little spot. You know, I was having to place my whole solder over the top of the board. And so I think I might have to get a new PDB board, because I don't know what could have possibly been damaged or not. And then by the time I got done, it actually looked worse than what it was before. I got a new soldering gun here. And some new solder. You know, the solder that I was using was a few years old. The soldering gun was, man, that thing was old as hell. I mean, it lasted for years and worked really good, so I went ahead and bought another one. But I'm pretty sure that I was using the same solder that came with the gun years and years ago. So the only thing that we're going to do today is we're going to take this apart, and we're going to take this wire off the PDB board. I'm going to try to get some of that mess cleaned up a little bit. And then we're going to make a new one of these. And then I'm just going to kind of show you where the ESCs are going to go. And we're going to cut them down to size a little bit, tin them, and put the PDB board ones on there. And we're going to get it set up so whenever the motors come in, all we have to do is tin them, cut the wires to the motors, tin the wires, and then hook them together. That's basically how we're going to do it. So, check it out. Alright, so we've got that tore down. The best idea, the best thing that you can do, just wait till it all comes in. Do it all at once. But since some of you may be building along with me and ordering as you go, I mean, this doesn't guarantee that your parts are going to come in at the same time mine are. So I would say that whenever you're ordering, find the body that you want. There's always going to be that frame. If it's a 210 or a 180 or something like that, they're always going to have that frame on eBay or on Hobby King, or, you know, somewhere. Somebody's always going to carry that frame. So you can pick out your frame that you want, and you don't have to order it right away. I would say the first thing that you should order is your motors. First week that you do ordering, find the frame you want, find the motors that can go on that frame, and then order the motors. And then if you're ordering parts every week, then the next week order your frame. Or possibly, you know, just kind of go through and see what's going to take the longest to get to you. If you're in America, stuff from China tends to take a while to get here. So while I'm waiting on the gun to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and take this wire out here. And since I'm not going to be entering any races anytime soon, weight isn't a necessity to me. So a little extra wire doesn't hurt. So I'm just going to leave these wires the same length that they are. Now remember, you only want off a little bit. That's fine. See the ends there. First time I did it way too long. Second time, I did it shorter. Still too long. I'll take these wires off. The best thing to do is to take some solder, put it on the end there, not going to refilm it, so if you want to know how to do it, in theory, go ahead and watch the other video. Just remember to cut your wires a lot shorter than what I cut it in that. And just basically, it's the same steps, so I'm just going to show you it cleaner. I just did that first one, and it is so much better of a connection. There's no exposed wires or anything. It just looks so much better. So, I knew I was a better solderer than that. I knew it. I was so mad at myself, though. And see this one. Ow, son of a bitch, I just burned myself. Both of these are so much better. Oh, you have no idea. Well, you have an idea, yeah. So much better. There's still a gob of so much over there that I may not pre-tin the wires when I hook up the ESCs just because there's so much solder on that board. I'm really hoping this board isn't ruined, but if it is, I can just take these wires back off. I mean, this board isn't too bad. And I want to say something too. This board is really good for beginners because your negatives here, your positives there, and they can cross over. I mean, all the circles overlap each other, and so it doesn't really matter where you put, you know, your power and negative as long as it's on the same exact side, you know. So it's real easy for beginners instead of you have those ones that have positive, negative, and if you put too much solder on it like this, it would have overlapped onto, you know, from the positive to the negative, and they would have both crossed and would have caused a short. So these are actually pretty good for you beginners. And you want to get the rest of it, just kind of. I'm going to get it to there. I'm just going to cut the end off here. Just add some extra strength, because these things are pretty hard to pull apart. Onto these ESCs. See, it would be better to do this all at once, and whenever here in the next couple months, I'll be ordering a kit that has everything in it. That way I can do it all in one fell swoop. So these videos right here are for you guys building along right now and ordering them piece by piece. And then the next one will be one long build, you know, as my second build, as I'm a little bit more experienced and stuff. So we're going to want to take that little plastic off. We're not going to be cutting this piece off. We're going to wait until the board gets in before we do anything with that. But what we can do is these are the 3 motors that go to your wire, or that go to your motor. They go this way. Okay. Whichever side. We're going to take these 3 wires off. And then we're going to put these to the board. And then that's all we're going to be doing today. So I'm just going to do one and then do all of them. So I'm going to do one for the camera. So make sure that there's these little tiny pieces here. Make sure that you don't rip any of those or leave the solder on for too long, because those will come off. Just take a few seconds. You don't have to do this. Because the motors themselves come with little connections that'll connect onto the end of this ESC. So it's not a necessity that you take them off. And we'll be doing positive and negative. Just sending that under into there. And that really doesn't give you much, does it? We're going to go to this side. Put those ones down there for. Looks like that's where it's going to be. We'll go ahead and tint that. So there's that one. That's gonna nick the wire, so you have to be careful. And we're not gonna use this whole long piece because the board's gonna be right up here on the top. So if I have to replace that, I can always use the wire from this side and just solder it back on there. So what I'm gonna do is, since this is gonna be here for a while, until the board comes in, the board will be here Wednesday of next week. I'm going to use double-sided sticky tape when I get done, but for now, just to keep it on here. Get that. I'm just going to stick that on there, just like so. And see, the motor's going to be right here, so this is going to actually have to scoot back a little. But you can always pull the wire through just a little bit more or something. I'll just put one around it. And that should just hold that there. Alright, now I'm going to do all of them. Hey, I found some tweezers. Now it's going to make it a lot easier. Alright, I am on the very last one. I knew I was a better solderer than the other day. I just knew it. Today has just been so much better. I'm glad I'm doing this for you guys like this because of the fact that I wouldn't know, you know. I would have probably attempted to finish the whole quadcopter with that one soldering. So we got all the ESCs. My battery's running low on my camera, so I'm gonna finish this one up. I'm gonna snap a few pictures for you. By the way, these bags are reusable, and I'd suggest you guys put your extra wiring and stuff inside here. Use that on later projects, especially if you need some longer wiring or something. Old ESC bag, put my other connector piece in there. Let's save those for another day. These ESC bags have this little Ziploc thing on the top. keeps it in there. So, always reuse your stuff. The thing about hobbies is always reusing stuff. Now, I do understand most people work from the motors in, but our motors will be coming in anytime between now and February 6th. So they probably won't be here till the end of January. And our control board's going to be in on the 11th. So I think the motors are going to probably be less than a week going. And that's okay. So I'm going to take a few pictures and we'll be done.